What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. You know, Mr. Beast. For some reason, I kept thinking of Mr. Bean, but Mr. Beast, ah, a young white guy, I think established in America, who has made a name for himself and made a fortune. Guy makes millions of dollars from videos that he do on YouTube, and he's grown into a philanthropist that goes around and do all kind of charity. And I didn't even know about this guy. I mean, my daughters and them, when I had made mention of him, he went to Africa and did these 100 wells. I asked them, who's this Mr. Beast? And they was like, yeah, he's this guy out here. A lot of people watch him and stuff like that. I never heard of the guy, but I did come across his video at that time when I asked my daughters about him because, he did this video. We're going to get into his video. I did some research on him, what he's got done, as well as the response from the people in Africa on what some, not all, think not only what he's done, but even what the government should have done. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all who has just come in. I hope your day is as prosperous as mine. I see you all. What's up, Feet Funkerson? I know that we all are busy in our life, and you decided to choose to give me just a portion of it. I'm very thankful for that. Also, too, family, let me pull and put a disclaimer out here. I am not going to be hating on Mr. Beast. I am not going to ridicule or demean him in any fashion or form of his acts of what the Most High put in him to do. Sometimes, when we don't know we are willing to participant of the Spirit of the Most High, sometimes we can get away with thinking it is us and not the Most High. But I question, did Mr. Beast really do 100 wells in Africa? If anybody can pass on to Mr. Beast, for those who might know him or go on his show or channel or whatever, tell them Go Black to Africa challenges him to prove he did 100 wells. Now, I know he's able to afford to do it. I mean, according to what internet shows and what his worth is and how much he makes, and goodness gracious, this guy's bouncing all over the place, the internet on YouTube. And according to what I make, and I see the views that he's making and what they're saying, he's 50 million plus he makes off of his YouTube. So he's got the money to do it. But my question is, did he really do it? I'm willing to challenge Mr. Beast and say he didn't. And if he didn't, I will do just a small portion of what he makes. I will do 3 wells. I will drill 3 wells. If he can prove paperwork wise, I will go to a couple of those countries to verify that he did actually. I'm going to do a random sampling. I'm going to visit some countries and go check out. Not the ones he showed on his videos, not those. I'm going to do a random samplings of whatever he provides, that if water is so important to the world, if he did 100 wells, I will drill 3 myself as a means of showing good faith for questioning him doing 100 wells. And that's real. And if he didn't do it, then I want to hold him to his word of doing 100 wells. You see, some of y'all might say, oh, Go Black, man, come on, man. Look, the guy has done great things. And, hey, he's done more than many people have done this and that. I don't care. To me, integrity is everything. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because here it is. Somebody said, did he say 50 mil? Oh, yeah, he makes more than that, 50 mil. I mean, I know he makes more than 50 mil. I know what I make. I don't even scratch the surface of what he makes, but I make more than most people working 9-to-5s who went to get their masters and their PhDs. I know that. But anyway, what the amazing thing is that people come into Africa A lot of Europeans coming to Africa and pimp Africa. A lot of people coming to Africa, and I've been in these countries. I've been to 33 African countries, and I have seen half built supposed projects that the locals say these missionaries came in, took pictures, put up a few bricks, and did web pages just to try to get donations and ran off with the money. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting because of the fact that so many of them people always take what they always use us to get what they want. And I don't like people who come into Africa, Europeans especially, and want to use it for a means of getting money. Now, we saw, and I'm going to show you his video of the work that he did in some of these African countries. But I already know the mindset of a capitalistic American or European. You can do a good, kind gesture and can get a lot of people on board, and you can make a boatload of money. Even if you're not putting that money in your pocket, you can use it to divert the money into places that you want it to go to. So, there are people who will come and say they helped out Africa. Oh, he helped out the poor little black children and people around the world. Oh, this white savior came and helped, and they're pouring money in. But he doesn't continue that money to go into Africa like MrBeast did. He's got many of different charities that he is doing. And off the back of Africa doing those supposed 100 wells, he has established a water sponsored program to try to bring water to places around the globe. Now, you might say, well, what is wrong with that? Well, why do you have to use Africa as the stepping stone to try to tug on people's hearts, try to pull? Well, why couldn't you go to Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Poland? Why couldn't you go to American? Because we know that most of these missionaries draw way more money by those sympathizers, those who feel sympathy, apathy, empathy for the black children of Africa who are just poor. They have nothing. We know what we did to them. And we know we colonized them and enslaved them. And we know that, and we got to, let me get money. So pimping Africa to try to build a product and divert money to other of these European projects, I just don't think it's right. I'm going to also show you a video of why I feel this way, that I really don't believe he did 100. And I challenge him that if he has, to please and show and prove to me. Show me the paperwork. Give me each country. Give me a point of contact, and I will random sample, and I will do a random sampling, and I will hit some of those to see. And if he's done 100, I will go ahead and drill 3. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, go black. Hey, you're sitting here talking smack about MrBeast, and what have you done? I'm glad you asked. I don't pat myself on the back of doing something that the Most High has given me to do. Because scripture says that what you do in the secret, God will reward you openly. So I don't need to broadcast what I do, but I have done many of work here in the motherland. I have redone the roofs in the orphanage that many of y'all seen me do in Tanzania. I have taken food to the schools in Kenya, in the ghettos. I have helped homeless people that's out on the street. I bought a propane business to help a young man whose boss wasn't even paying him, and now he's the boss running it. I have talked to endless people, dropping gold nuggets to rise them up out of the pits that they might be in, to give them ideas to be able to start. I have given money and fed people and teaching, the Almighty, the Spirit of the Most High, to wake up a dark soul. I have done a many of things. So don't think your man just is going to hate on somebody, or thinking I'm hating on him, or saying he's done it, but yet what have you done? Look, I've done a lot of work. I live in Africa. So I help many people and businesses. Now, I got a video I'm going to show you of his. I got another video I'm going to show you of this missionary talking about the lies they do to come into Africa to get the money. I did this video about over a year or so ago. And so I'm going to pull it up and we're going to watch this just briefly. I'm going to skip through a lot of the video just to hit points and whatever. I don't have everything kind of laid out there in the way that I want. And then I'm going to get into the article from CNN, how some people feel about this MrBeast coming into Kenya and what he did. Some are thankful and grateful, and there are those who even made mention of, okay, he did the wells. That's great. But what happens when they break? The parts. These people can't afford that. And where do you get the parts? And who's going to come and do it? I remember, y'all, gosh, it was 13, 14 years ago. I had a BMW, and it was 20 years old, but I kept that joker up, ran smooth, and it was a beautiful car I kept up. I bought a new car, and when I bought the car, I couldn't get a ride. I couldn't go get my car. And then I was going to drive my car there, my used car there, my BMW, to get the car that I bought, but I had no transportation getting back. So the Lord put on my heart and said, give it away. Okay, Lord, I'll give it away. So I went to go get the car. I was driving around, so I'm going to go by bus stops because people need cars at the bus stop. So the idea came and said, whomever gives you $5, give them your car. So I drove from bus stop asking, does anybody can help me? I need gas for my car. I will greatly pay you back and give me your phone number or whatever I can make way. Does anybody can go ahead and, lend me $5, No, go to the next bus stop. Go to the next bus stop. Go to the price went to $3. The price went to $1. I got to this bus stop, and there was a woman with 4 kids sitting by herself. I rolled down the window and says, ma'am, I'm trying to get gas for my car. I only need $1. And if you could help me out, I'd greatly appreciate it. The woman, she said, are you serious? Because she's looking at my car like, of course, she look at my car like, what do you mean you got $1? She said, are you serious? I said, yes, I really am. And she goes in her purse and she puts change in her child's hand. The child walks up to my car and was going to give me change. I said, no, ma'am, I really don't need $1. I want to give you my car for your kindness and wanting to help me. She said, oh, no, I don't want your car. I don't want your car. I said, no, ma'am, seriously, this ain't no joke. This ain't no gimmick. I'm trying to get my car away. And for the first person that was willing to go ahead and help me out, I got another car I got to go pick up. She said, no, I don't need a car. I'm fine. You sure? You don't want the car? I got the title in the car. I'll sign it over to you. They ain't stolen, nothing like that. She said, I am fine. Thank you very much. I went on my way. And when I went on my way, the Lord showed me something. You see, what I thought would be a good gesture for her and giving her a car, what this woman saw was a potential aggravation that would be a thorn possibly in her side. You see, what she probably saw was an expensive, to get the car maintenance, expensive maintenance. You got to put gas in that car. You got to put tires on it and brakes, oil changes. And if anything breaks, You got to get it registered every year. And this woman probably was thinking, I'm fine catching the bus. I don't need that car. Now, she could have easily took the car and probably sold the car. But to her, it was not even worth the time nor day to get that vehicle. You see, that taught me a life lesson. And what it taught me was not all good things are good for someone. Now, I'm not saying that the Almighty and what the Almighty did working through MrBeast was not a great thing because, hey, anything good is coming from the Most High. But what we think and what we understand to be good may not be good in the Most High's eyes. You know, it's said that your understanding is not my understanding. So, yes, we can go ahead and put wells around, but do you think about what happens when it breaks? But this is what the Lord showed me a couple years ago when I thought about doing wells. I never got around to doing it because I move around too much, but I will when I settle. What we think is a good thing, family, all right? I go dig a well because what he shows, and I'm going to get to his videos, he saved a lot of people from walking miles to get water, walking high terrains and all that to get water, and put and drill holes right there in their village. How convenient. It's great. You know, who would argue against that? I would be very thankful for that. But the Lord showed me something. Sometimes we can come into countries and villages and thinking that people need what you think they need. And what you might think is convenient may not necessarily be an inconvenience to them, or inconvenience. They may not be an inconvenience to them. And though you think you're helping, you could probably at the end of it all wind up hurting. And this is what the Lord showed me. You got people who walk to get their water. They get their water, and if they have to walk a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles to get their water, that is nothing to them. It's everything to us because we're lazy. We don't know how to walk. And these people will carry, our brothers and sisters carry these buckets on their heads, some carrying 2 in their hands, little children. We'll get to the video. And yet they've built an endurance, a muscle memory, strength in their bodies to be able to do it, and they don't even flinch. What happens when 5 years go by? The children who are now of age, who should be carrying those buckets of water, those young ladies and those young boys and those who are doing this task and pass it to the next younger one coming behind them, when that well breaks and there's no parts and the stands rust, the pipes burst, the winds blow it down, what do you got to do at that moment in time? You got to go fetch water, and it's going to be hell getting it. Why? Because what was conditioned and easy and not as a problem comes a huge problem now. Can you hear them now saying, oh my God, this is heavy. Oh, how long do we got? Oh my goodness, how far do we got to go? Sometimes what you think might be good may not be. You see, short fixes and stuff like that is helpful. But in the long run, we got to think about what would the outcome be. So let's get into this. What happened to my previous video, the new force? You know, YouTube, they want to always put tag me on something. So I got to have them review it so that there is no showing no guideline. I'm not breaking any of their guidelines and stuff. Then once they approve it, I'm gonna put it back up. Yeah, they do this to some of us who just, whatever. Okay, let's get into MrBeast video. All right, we're gonna start here. Start right there. Let me make sure everything's okay. Let me put on my cell phone here. Let me make sure that I can hear. Make sure y'all got sound. All right.
This is.
Okay, let me put this on big screen. Great.
The first of 100 wells we're gonna build in this video. Oh, water! Oh, crap! You just witnessed a small village in Kenya get access to unlimited clean drinking water in less than a second. One down, 99 more wells in Africa to go. You're gonna love this video. Combined, these 100 wells are gonna give around 500,000 people fresh water to drink. And after building some more wells on this side of Kenya, we flew south to the school system of Nairiri. And let's just say, they were really happy to see us. How's it going? I was not expecting this. Thank you for the welcome. I'm not sure how to react. Lives are being limited and sometimes cut short from being forced to drink unsafe water. But at least for this village, we're gonna put an end to it right now. I don't think this John's gonna fit. I would think that. I think that having an effect of this magnitude would require the resources and funding of a large government. But that's not true. Solving this problem is possible and something humanity should all be putting effort in to fix.
What's the secret of success?
To be honest, just find something you love doing and do it for a long period, and eventually you'll succeed. So I'm gonna bring it super close. See us?
Coming from
Is
an
that
American.
cool? If you look up, it's recording. All right, well, I'm gonna get close. On a giant community had it even harder. Every time they need to get water, they need to take a treacherous mile-long hike through the jungle. And that mile-long hike also happens to be on a giant mountain.
I wake up very early, about 4 o'clock, so that I can fetch water for the school.
We are not safe fetching water here. That place is very slippery. Chances of getting an injury is very high.
So while we worked on their well, the community took me to see how they currently source their water. You guys would have to make this trip how many times a day?
2 times.
2 times a day. Oh, wow. So a typical student would carry something like this?
Yeah.
Oh, God. If 200 students did this every day, how hard could it be?
It could be very hard.
Oh boy. Dang, this is very steep. The deal is the village is over there, the hospital and schools are over there, so they're crossing this bridge multiple times a day. Despite how dangerous this bridge is, it's their only option.
This river, when it is swollen, it can sweep away people, students, or even animals. In the recent past, we have lost about 3 people trying to cross this river.
This loss of life is insane and absolutely unacceptable. The moment we heard about this, we knew we had to help. So while we started work on a new bridge that would let them reach their well, we then traveled over 2,000 miles from Kenya to the country of Zimbabwe. We've been in Africa for over a week, and we still have a lot more wells to do. You kind of smell. I know, it's weird. I showered this morning. Wow. Yeah. Let me finish. I can put my arms down. Can I count on you two to finish these wells with me?
Yes.
First on the agenda was to check out a local hospital that was in dire need of clean water. Upon entering, we learned how big of an impact this clinic had on the village. Do we want to go check it out?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I love how people are immediately just getting water right now. This is easily the coolest thing ever.
Nolan here is a professional dancer. He will join.
How do I always end up dancing?
So we built more wells in Uganda, Somalia, and Cameroon. If you want to see more of what we did in Cameroon, there's a whole video about that coming soon on the Philanthropy channel. Spending time in these villages really made me reflect on the importance of building wells.
All right. So you got to see his video of building wells. Now, I'm challenging MrBeast because I do not believe he did 100 wells. I just do not believe it. And, you know, if he cares so much about Africa and he wants water and wells, I'm willing to drill 3. If he can prove to me by paperwork, give me points of contacts to call, I will do a random sampling of those. I will go even visit 3-4 countries and see, because I've been to 33 African countries, to see, did he really do 100? I'm doubtful. Now, I know people are saying, well, but why would you doubt? No, I am not taking away from what he has done. Because I said before, all good things come from the creator. You were just vessels, or we're just conduits of who the Most High uses. So I don't give him the credit. I give the Most High the credit. But I still do not believe he did 100 wells. And so I challenge him. So you all go over to his channel. The next video just put up there, says, Go Black to Africa challenges you that you didn't do 100 wells. And he said that he challenged you. If you could prove, then he will go ahead and do 3 wells. Because Mr. Beast, as he's called, Beast, you know, he makes way more money than I do. You know, he's over $50 million he make, according to internet. And I know what he kind of makes, knowing that his views that he get, hundreds of millions of views, brings him just one video. God, no. Hey, could bring him $1 million, you know. But anyway, I think it equal to him making almost like he brings in like $4 million, $5 million a month just off his videos. But anyway, I don't need none of his money. I'm very happy and very well secured. But I still challenge him, because I know that these people who come in, which I'm about to show this next video, come into Africa, rape, rob, and pillage a people for their own selfish gains. Or like I said, they will try to go ahead and pimp Africa, do a video, squander the money from donations, divert it to other programs, and not even think about Africa. So let's get into Kenya, who actually was reported by CNN. Some people didn't like the fact of, you know, him getting in, and some people were like, you know, it's a shame that we even have to have this so-called white savior in our own government who squanders millions of dollars can easily build or drill boreholes, which is a shame to the corrupt leaders out here, leaving their people destitute and starving and thirsty because of their own selfish greed. I don't know how people live with themselves like that. I just do not understand it. Well, I do understand it. They're evil. That's just how it is. Put it plain and simple. So somebody said he's worth over 500 million. I'm quite, he might be. For all that, look at all the programs he got and sponsorships and stuff now. And oh yeah, he's a philanthropist and he got all of this stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And what they do, what rich people do too, see, they will go ahead and get trusts, you know, they will start what you call, not nonprofit organizations, what they call them. What kind of, what is it called? Somebody help me out here. Not nonprofit organizations. They'll go ahead and create these things in their name, you know, and then people donate, and then they can take off the top what they get paid for their position. You know, somebody help me out. I know I got a smart group of people who follow. So, you know, but anyway, I'm gonna show y'all this article. No, not a 501c3, not the LLC. No, not an NGO. No. Hillary and Bill Clinton's got one, and they foundation. There we go. Thank you, Malik. You can create a foundation in your name, and you know, without being taxed. You can have people give to your foundation, and you can turn around and pay yourself. You know, you could pay yourself. And this is what many people do to secure themselves, you know. So they there are those who have the trick of doing that too, you know, that yes, on the surface they're doing charity work, but they're also, you know, making sure that they can also, you know, have money back, put back in. Let's go into his other, one of his websites that he has that show he's a philanthropist. So this is one of his sites here, Beast Philanthropy. And You can see he's got media campaigns. He shows 6 million pounds of food, 5 million meals delivered, 248,000 individuals fed, and he goes on. And hey, I got to credit the guy for what he does. I like I said, I'm not hating on him. This guy's got the money to do it, and he's using some of his money, and he's finding ways to do it. But then he also is seeking donations. So, he is also seeking donations, as you can see. Power Village, $11,000 donated. Sometimes it takes a video to wake people up to try to come contribute money to a cause. You go in, you do a little bit, but then go ahead and try to launch something so you can get more people actively involved. So, this is the water right here. Now, here's the thing I was talking about. $519,000 have been donated, 19,000 donations, 10,000 top donations. Now, this is what it says, because he came to Africa, did this video, and it's what it says. Clean water is something everyone needs to survive. Beast Philanthropy is committed to making this valuable resource accessible to more communities around the world by funding and building water wells that will provide clean and safe drinking water to tens of thousands of people across the globe. You see, so it says 100 wells we built will help 350,000 people across Cameroon, Kenya, Somalia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe over their lifetime. Let me repeat what he said. How can you help? Because I'm reading between the lines. The 100 wells we built will help those people across Cameroon, Somalia, Uganda, Zimbabwe over their lifetime. However, here we go with the however. So we did our part for Africa. We got everybody engaged, fired up. However, around 2 billion people around the world do not have access to clean, safe drinking water. Africa got 1.4 billion people. 1.4 billion people. I mean, he could have kept that program right there in Africa, if anything. But there again, there's a transfer now of money. We can use Africa, and I want him to show me. He did 100 wells. I want him to show me. I want him to prove me wrong. And I want him to go, go Black Sea, put it in your face. I would do a video and say, he got me, y'all. But I don't believe he did the 100 wells. I believe he came in, he probably did his 20, 30 wells, and then went on about his business, pimped Africa like most Europeans come in and the missionaries do, to go ahead, put up a few bricks, do a video, turn around, leave out, get millions of dollars sent to the organ that campaign, and then they walk away scot-free and nobody knows where to find them. So he says 2 billion people around the world do not have access to clean water and safe drinking water. That's about 25% of the entire planet. Clean wells can range from just a few $1,000s to tens of thousands, depending on the scope and needs of the local community, but can provide almost unlimited drinking water to people very quickly. Let's go over to Kenya. So Kenya, here, I think it's Kenya. MrBeast builds 100 wells in Africa, attracting praise, and some criticism. Now, hold one second. Let me go back. You guys can't see this. Share this link instead. There we go. All right. So this is what the title says. MrBeast builds 100 wells in Africa, attracting praise and some criticism. Listen to this right here. This was November the 7th, 2023. CNN did this report. American YouTuber MrBeast's latest video, in which he says he built 100 wells across Africa, has drawn a complex response online since it was published on Saturday. Some Kenya activists and journalists said he spotlighted the failures of the Kenyan government, while MrBeast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson, anticipates that he will be canceled following the reaction. He won't be canceled. The new wells will provide clean drinking water for up to 500,000 people in Cameroon, Kenya, Somalia, Uganda, Zimbabwe. Donaldson said, or Mr. Beast said, while an accompanying fundraiser to support local water and organizations had raised more than 300,000, which we saw was 500,000 right now by that morning, but it's 500,000 now. Shining a light on the invisible. Hold up, that's something else. Donaldson, or Mr. Beast, 10-minute video also showed him donating supplies to Kenya schools, such as new future furniture, soccer balls, computers, whiteboards, and projectors, building a bridge across the river to connect a village with the local schools and hospitals, and donating bikes to a village in Zimbabwe to help children get to school. Prominent activist Boniface Mwangi contrasted Donaldson's actions with those of Kenyan government, saying that we are a shameful, horrible country, a begging nation governed by millions. He added on X, formerly known as Twitter, every 5 years we give newly elected members of parliament and senators a 5 million shilling car grant, or $33,000 US dollars, fuel those cars every month, but we have no money to drill boreholes for our people. Similarly, freelance journalist Fernandin Omandi lauded Donaldson's efforts, but said that it's embarrassing that a YouTuber jetted into Kenya on a charity tour to perform tasks our tax should have completed ages ago. CNN reached out to Kenyan government spokesperson to comment, but had not received a response at the time of publication. Saran Kaba Jones, founder and CEO of Face Africa, an organization working to improve water infrastructure and sanitation in sub-Saharan Africa, told CNN, quote, I've been doing this for 15 years, but we've been struggling to continue the work because funding, awareness, and advocacy all take work. And then she added, overnight, this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden he gets all of the attention. It's kind of frustrating, but it's also understanding the nature of how the world works. She praised Mr. Beast for shining the spotlight on the need for the clean water supply, but warned that the issue is sustainability. It's one thing to go in and install the well. It's another thing for us to go back to 3, 4, or 5 years from now and see if that well is still functional. Kaba Jones told CNN that Face Africa works in areas where 60% of wells are broken and people go back to drinking from the creek because there was no infrastructure put in place to follow up for maintenance for repair, and said she hoped Donaldson, Mr. Beast, well building effort included this infrastructure. That's what I was sharing with y'all before. It was showing me some years ago. You can go ahead and build this stuff, but if they ain't got the means to go ahead and do it, they're subject now to go back to their old ways. While much of the reactions to Mr. Beast's video seem to focus on how he shamed Kenyan government, its creator anticipated a backlash, saying on X that he knows I'm going to get canceled because I uploaded a video helping people, and to be 100% clear, I don't care. Unquote. Article goes on. That's a CNN article. So let me take you to this video. This is a video I did a year ago. Got 42,000 views too. People watched it. The title of this video that I put is, did you get what this European missionary said? Africa needs to kick out all charity organizations. So let me make sure that we can get sound on this. Share this tab. Okay, now I share that tab. I keep forgetting I can do that. Let me go back in here. Oops. Okay, let me go. There we go. Let me share. I'm going to kind of skip through this a little bit. Hopefully we hit on some. But anyway, give you a gist of what he's saying. This young man here, he was on a mission trip. And he exposed, he basically was a whistleblower on this mission trip that he was on. He basically was saying that it was all for show at the end of it all for this charity to get money. They did nothing but do pictures, take a doll baby, put it in the hand of the child, and after the photo shoot, take it right back out of the child's hands and move on to the next little village. And they were showing them, they would videotape it, put it on the website so people can donate and send millions of dollars in. So he was a whistleblower. So let's check this out right here. Let me see if y'all can hear this. Make sure y'all can hear that. Great. Okay. Let me...
We were sometimes encouraged to interact with the children for the sole perceive this as an innocent picture of me playing with a child, but this is actually poverty porn. We were sometimes encouraged to interact with the children for the sole purpose of getting photos like this. These were then published on our daily blog so that leaders could talk about what a great thing we were doing and how selfless we were and how we were spreading God's love and changing the world for the better, one AIDS orphan at a time. This is part 3 of my story.
What's up, family? This is your man.
All right.
Not your boy.
Go look at me, boy. Look at me. A year ago.
To some, this may seem like a joyful picture of me giving a child a toy. What you might not know is that moments after this photo was taken, the toy was forcibly removed from that girl. I should not have been there, and this photo should never have been taken. Before I continue, I'd like to take a moment to say that you should follow No White Saviors on Instagram. This organization provides education and a lot of resources to help you understand exactly what the white savior complex is and why it is so wrong and some of the harm that it does. So now it's time for me to talk about what I did and why I lied. The story starts in 2013. My brother had just got back from a World Challenge trip to Kenya and Tanzania and was telling my group at church. And one of the girls thought, why don't we do a trip like this? But we could actually go out and help people. We could do an aid trip. And one of the leaders happened to have a connection with a charity based in South Africa who supposedly helped AIDS orphans. And he convinced us it was going to be this really good idea and that we could serve the world in the name of Jesus Christ and spread God's love and really help people. So we started organizing events and attending events in all of our cause to try and raise money. And this is where the first problem occurred. We would say at the beginning of every presentation that there were 53 million AIDS orphans in sub-Saharan Africa. That number is incorrect. I believe it's actually around 11 million. We've just been given like this information from the charity to read.
Embellishing numbers.
Out. When a couple of us found out, although 11 million is still a massive number and it's still awful, we were kind of just told to just brush it under the carpet. It might not seem like a big problem, but it should have been a red flag. So let's start talking about the trip itself and the things that shouldn't have happened. What did we actually do on the trip? Well, we visited various different communities and we basically played with the children, talked to them about God, ate with them. We'd spend around maybe 4 or 5 hours in total. And then we go back to our nice lodgings in a place, I believe it was called White River, where we were behind an electric fence. We were really safe and secure, and we'd have dinner and just relax. I believe we spent 8 days out of the 2 weeks doing these visits. And then we had 1 weekday each of the weeks where we'd do something else with the charity in their compound, basically praying and talking about the issues that South Africa face. So how exactly was this helping the kids? So the charity, which will not be named for now, used to always say, give a man to fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed him for his life. We were meant to be teaching people to fish. I failed to see how knowledge of God, which they already had, by the way, could have...
Hold up. We already, look, before missionaries came, there was God already in the consciousness and spirit of Africa.
Helped at all to improve their communities. We were led to believe that these people rarely got any visitors, but it transpired that there were actually groups every 2 weeks who would go and visit the same communities.
Which means they're funneling money from different charity organizations, going to visit these villages and using these white children like him or these young adults like them to go in and talk about God and yet take photos, bogus photos, put a doll in a child's hands and then rape daggone money out of donators' hands, and then whoever has that charity just gets to go ahead and just live the lavish life.
When we tried to take selfies with the kids, they started posing like this, because they'd had selfies taken with them so many times. They were unimpressed by our smartphones and our modern technology. So essentially what we were doing was going, playing games, taking pictures as if it was a human zoo, and then writing a blog about how God loves all of us and how lucky we are. So let's talk about the lies. This is a care point in one of the communities called Tuka, and I believe it's here where the toilet incident happened. For context, we went to a deanery project meeting in St. Albans. This is basically where you talk about your cause and they decide if they want to give you some money to support it. We were successful in securing £2,000, but it had to be spent specifically on work in the community. To our credit, we were not going to go build any infrastructure because we wanted the bullying. I promise I'll get to the bullying in part 5. Once you find these type of people insufferable, you're dead on there. The comments are always like brave, selfless, and trip. And here's a picture of my brother and I on the first day of a mission trip. And to be totally honest, in this moment, we were excited. Despite the problems leading up to the trip, we had been surrounded by the community, been told we were doing such a great things. Of course, it turns out we weren't saving the world. We were simply visiting communities, playing games, talking about God and leaving. Most people we met would come to the care point because it was the only place they could get a meal for the day. And of course, we'd use that as an opportunity to talk to them about God. And most of these people already had faith. So it wasn't necessary, but of course it needed to be reinforced. Essentially, it felt like a way to indoctrinate them. But imagine the audacity to think that your simple presence in a place will change people's lives. Or should I say the caucasity? Am I allowed to say that? I started to have really bad feelings, but I kept them to myself. Meanwhile, my brother was a bit more vocal about this. Let's talk about the bullying. Initially, I planned to talk a lot more about this, but my brother and I had a conversation this morning and we decided that this would distract from the point of coming clean and talking about what actually happened and what actually went down. We'd be lying if we didn't admit that the bullying was due to past tensions and not all of that related to the mission trip itself. So during the trip,
so anyway, he goes on to talk about how they kind of bully them and make them force them to say and do things that they wasn't supposed to do. So this is why I am challenging MrBeast, because of the fact that these things go on. He said 100 wells. I don't believe it was 100 wells. He's going to have to prove and get, he could probably say, I ain't got to prove anything to him. He's exactly right. But if you said 100 wells for me to change my so-called and many of our people's perceptions of white people, you would think that you would say, I'm going to prove that the fact that there are some white people who are serious about going to do what they say they're going to do, finish the thing to its completion, be open and honest about the numbers, and then, they will see that not everybody is like that comes into Africa. Prove me wrong. That's all I want to do. I want to see one organization that comes in here wholeheartedly without any strings attached, without any money attached to anything. Nobody's getting paid, and they're coming from the heart of just wanting to help. I don't think that's possible. I really don't. Andy, no, they didn't delete the live stream that I did a few hours ago. They basically tagged it, and so I put a review on it so that they can review to make sure I haven't broken any policies, because I don't even know why they would even tag that as not being what's the word they use, compliant or whatever with the policy, as well as advertisement can't even be put on it. So I put in that. So anyway, I wanted to do this video because of the fact that just to show y'all the games and the evilness of some people that come in. I ain't saying MrBeast didn't. He's got to prove his point that he did 100 wells. I don't believe he did. I believe he came in here. He might have did what he's videotaped, and which he's only shown, I think 5 villages in that whole video, to make a video. But where's the other 95? Show us at least half of them. He had a little number up the top on the corner, every time he talked about something and it was blip and then like, okay, we're at 54. Now we're at 60. Now we're at 70. But I only saw you do 5. So is this a ploy, a plot, a scheme to go ahead and just what? Take advantage of a people again who might be donating just for your cause of what? Using Africa as a footstool to divert money to another cause? I don't know, but somebody gonna have to prove to me that they got a heart who's a European coming into Africa. Because once I see, there's all about what they can take. They either coming for the women, they coming for the men, they coming for the resources that's in the ground. They're coming for their opportunity, but they have nothing to do with the African. Nothing. And this is why my last video, that's why people are asking about my last video, because I brought out that one woman who was a spokesperson for this potential, I guess, presidential candidate. She's a European here in Ghana for, I guess, a president's candidate. And yet I showed her TikTok videos that she's downing Ghana. She was belittling Ghanaians. And this is the evilness that many of the people do. So I don't trust them. I don't trust these people coming in. Not at all. And Africa needs to wake up and realize not all help is good help. Africa is not poor. Africa's rich. You got to get rid of these clowns who are in these political parties being paid by these outside forces to keep it poor. We're going to keep a close eye because I'm going to do a video of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, who have stood up and now are doing some things to try to raise their country into becoming more of a prosperous country. They've now raised their costs on uranium to the European. They have also have done some contracts away from doing with Europeans and are building factories. They decided to go to the Asian side and do deals with them, and so that they can go ahead and build. Because see, Europeans want you poor. Europeans want to keep you broke. They rather for just to throw the crumbs, and then you thinking I'm happy. I got me food stamps. Oh, I got a little government assistance, and you stay broke the rest of your life. See, this is what the Democrats have lied to many of you people, and the Republicans too. And at the end of the day, they go drink their wines and drink their liquor together. And you thinking they are enemies. No, they're not. They're all friends and family. This is what they do. They play that game and keep you poor-minded. So Africa is not poor. Africa's own resources can make it a wealthy middle-class country. But the devils are in charge. The devils have the clamp on these countries. And anytime one tries to rise up and say, let's get this mess in order, here comes a coup that Europe does to go ahead and take out that president. And the foolish locals, when the devil comes in, they take the weapons from them. Yeah, you want to, it was a fake, poll of voting, and if y'all really want help, we can help you. Here's some guns. We'll help support you in taking out the leader who not supposed to be there. He cheated. Ignorant locals who are so, we are part of the such and such group, and we hurt because they side won. Well, here you go, take some guns and go fight them because they cheated. Yeah, let's kill them. This is what happens over and over and over. This ain't me saying it. That's history. You take it from me, who's been in the military for 20 years. I know the games that the government plays. The people, white people, that's the ones that lead it, not us. We're the ones with the guns on the battlefield fighting to protect their wealth and their power. Anyway, family, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope y'all have a blessed day, prosperous, and that I'll see you next time on my next video. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all. I'm out.